Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're joining us today. As we know, we have a crowd here from more than 50 different countries. My name is Shai. I'm a startup evangelist here at Google Cloud, and I'm really excited to be here with you as the host of today's session. Today's session is with our partner ElevenLabs, and it is called Infinite Custom Voices, AI Music, and Sound Effects with ElevenLabs API. So Lewis will talk about how developers can unlock the creative power of ElevenLabs V3, their most expressive voice engine yet. I can tell you, you're in for a treat. I met Lewis several months ago in Poland, and it was really inspiring to see what ElevenLabs is up to and how he conveys it. So this is going to be super interesting. And before we jump into the session, let's see where we are with the school's curriculum. So in week 1, you learned how to build your, first agentic Gemini app and building a multimodal AI composer. In week 2, you learned more about Nano Banana, VO3, Gemini text-to-speech, and how to build an AI-powered quality assurance system. And now we are in week 3. So yesterday we had a deep dive of how to actually go to production with a scalable approach. And now you'll learn again about custom voices, AI music, and so much more. Tomorrow, join me, and we're going to do avatars, which are another fascinating topic in the realm of generative media. Very quickly, for those of you who are here with us for the first time, let's understand the startup school structure. So each week we host live sessions on Tuesday and Thursday. So here it's kind of an exception that we have it on Wednesday, which are later available to watch on demand. And if you want to get back into some of the topics covered. So most of our sessions also have non-mandatory but recommended labs and notebooks. So you can put the knowledge you gained into practice. The Cloud Skills Boost is an amazing place where you can also obtain specific skills badges. And speaking of Skills Boost, you'll be able to access these labs free of charge. So you can fuel your account with credits on the Cloud Skills Boost platform. All the information you see on the slide was provided in either a reminder email or confirmation email that you all received. So if you haven't yet, please double check your spam folder for emails coming from Google Cloud at google.com. In pretty much every case, it turns out that the email was there. But just in case you still have troubles, please shoot us an email at startupschool-external@google.com, and Gabby and the rest of the team is here to help you. Last but not least, before we jump into today's class, I wanted to run through a couple of important housekeeping rules. So one, as you can see on your screen now, there's a chat function on the right-hand side and a Q&A panel at the bottom. We have Google AI experts on hand to answer any questions that come up throughout the class. Here, since it's a partner session, we'll do our best, but please consider that. And yeah, ask your AI questions in the Q&A panel, interact with other co-founders and developers in the chat. And one more request, please refrain from sharing your LinkedIn profiles in the chat space. We're gonna save the last 10 minutes of the class for live Q&A with Lewis. So it will get the best and most common questions related directly to the content that Lewis is covering. So please upvote the questions in the Q&A panel and use the chat space to converse. We're recording each class, and you'll be able to watch them on demand later at a later stage. Please note that we won't be sharing the slides that are shared here. And last but not least, this is a hands-on training series, and most classes, again, cover a lab. Anyway, that's it for me. It's now a very big pleasure for me to invite to our virtual stage our amazing speaker, Louis from ElevenLabs. Welcome to Startup School Stage. I will see you later for the Q&A. And until then, the floor is yours, my friend. Good luck and have fun.
Wow, thank you. What a warm welcome, Shai. Hello, everyone. I'm Louis from ElevenLabs. I'm super excited to talk about what we do here at ElevenLabs, how we work with Google, and it's just so incredible to have so many people on the stream today. So super excited to go through this with you, and hopefully you'll learn a thing or two. I'm going to show you a little bit about how we use ElevenLabs at ElevenLabs. I work in engineering, so I do a lot of the product work. I do some of the docs, the SDKs, a lot of the fun stuff that goes into building ElevenLabs. So super excited to share that with you. So a bit about me. I work in engineering at ElevenLabs. This is a photo of me a couple of months ago at the Google office in Poland. It was an incredible event. Shai was there, where I got to meet him for the first time. There were, I think, 300 people coming to our talk, which is really exciting. We had people standing in the corners. There was a lot of love over in Poland for ElevenLabs. Obviously, we're a Polish company. We started there. Our two founders, Mati and Piotr, were both friends from Poland. So it was really inspiring just to go back to the roots and go to Poland for the first time. So super excited about that. I'm going to talk about a little bit of the history first. So in terms of voice has been around for such a long time. Obviously, humans were communicating back in 300,000 BC. That's when we started to develop these like vocal tracks so people could start communicating with each other. It's such a valuable part of how we live. Like the way that you're listening to me right now and understanding what I'm saying is through voice. So there's so much that goes into it. In 70,000 BC, humans were able to then pass down knowledge and start storytelling with each other. And that really caused an acceleration in like the development of how people could build things and how they could communicate and cook and all these kind of amazing things that we are so used to today and we just kind of become accustomed to. In the 1000 BC, that's when the first written language started. And over today, 128 trillion words are spoken daily. I'm not sure how someone measured that, but it's a lot of words. I'm sure it's a lot of words. So it's quite cool to see. Obviously, voices are really complex. There's so much that goes into a voice. You have the tone, the way you speak. My accent is British, but I'm also from Luxembourg. So I grew up in Luxembourg. So I'm sure I've got a slight European twang to the way I speak. I make mistakes when I talk. I have intonation. I speak with a different cadence. And there's so much that goes into what makes a voice sound like a human, like a person. It's almost like a fingerprint, right? Like everyone has such a unique way of speaking and they speak with different emotions and languages. So it's really interesting to see how we can convert this into today's world of technology and the complexities around that, obviously. Obviously, voice is one thing. We now have sound effects. Music is another thing entirely. You can imagine there's singing, which is another dimension of complexity. But there's so much that goes into a voice is the point here. At ElevenLabs, we do pretty much all the stack around speech, audio, voice, and now agents. We do text to speech to speech. We can convert, Mr. Beast's videos from one language to another. We can clone people's voices. We've got some incredible artists and incredible people that we partner with to clone their voices. We can do sound effects. We can remove the background noise when I'm talking from any video. I was looking at a few videos last night. We ran a competition for our voice isolator model where people would send us these really loud videos of a generator in the background. And then our model would just basically cut out that background noise and make it super clear, as if it was filmed in a studio. One of my new favorite products that came out a few weeks ago is our music model. It's just incredible to see all of these amazing technologies come together and to be able to build songs from code, from prompts, from pretty much anything. And I find that really fun to play around with. And I've got some really cool demos to show you later in the slides to show you a little bit about how we do that. We have two parts to this presentation. The first part is going to be our creative platform. This is for people like me who are creatives. I play the saxophone. I love playing music and doing some random DJ sets in my room. I love building songs and trying to see how we can put all these things together to build emotional stories. So this is for that part. And obviously we have our text-to-speech that goes into that. We have our music model and our speech-to-text that go into the creative platform. Now, obviously I'm going to start with voices because voices is such a critical part of what we do. Voices are the foundation of pretty much everything at ElevenLabs. You can choose from a huge library of over 10,000 voices now. Voices that have been generated using synthetic prompts, voices that have been created by humans, so you can talk into a microphone for 1 hour and create an incredible voice clone that sounds almost indistinguishable from yourself, which is pretty crazy. I'm going to play 2 samples here, and we're going to test the speakers are working. But this is sample A.
Like I said, Lily, in the previous press conference. So it is a win-win and win. They have done an incredible run of season so far, and I don't think it is going to drop much points. What you have to do is be there.
And this is sample B.
Like I said lately in the previous press conference, so it's win-win and win.
So one of those is the sample from a microphone, and the other one is generated with ElevenLabs. Sample B is the one that we picked up from a microphone from a phone, and that was only 15 seconds of audio. We can create sample A from that. And that's just using our instant voice clone. That was 15 seconds of audio, and we were able to capture someone's intonation, the tone, and the voice from those 15 seconds. Now imagine what you can do with more than 15 seconds. We have 30 minutes. We have a professional voice clone, which is 30 minutes of audio minimum, and that can create some incredible results where it just sounds so incredible. So I'll play this one now as well.
Professional voice cloning comes integrated with all our models, including 11 multilingual V1. If you speak any of the languages supported by it, you can create a perfect replica of your voice and have it speak all the other languages too. Welcome, dear mortals, to the twisted depths of my realm. Gather closely, for I, the dark enchantress, shall unveil the secrets that lie veiled beneath this facade of magic and deceit.
So as you can hear in sample B, that was the part of the recording that we use, and then sample A was an audiobook narration from that voice. And we can obviously change that into as many languages as we want to now with V3. V3 can supposedly speak Luxembourgish as well, which is where I'm from. Luxembourg is a very small country in Europe. Only about 400,000 people speak our language, including myself. So it's a very interesting moment to see Luxembourg being spoken by our text-to-speech model. One small announcement that we have, actually this came out yesterday, but we have some new voices joining our Iconic Voices marketplace. I'm a big fan of Sir Michael Caine. Sir Michael Caine, if you don't know him, he is one of the most incredible British actors in the UK. He's created a bunch of interesting movies that I love to watch, and he's joining our voice library, so you can listen to his voice using our Reader app today. We've got people like James Dean, Judy Garland, who was in some incredible movies as well, and obviously Robert Oppenheimer. We've got some incredible scientists as well, like Richard Feynman and Burt Reynolds, who's a real-life cowboy, so his voice is really interesting and really fun to listen to. If you put your voice on our marketplace, you can get paid for it. Like, people can use your voice in the marketplace, and we've, to date, as of last week, served over $11 million in creator rewards. So it's a huge amount. My voice is on the marketplace, so if you want to use it, feel free to. I don't get paid, unfortunately, but it's an incredible thing just to see all of our engineers and people putting their voice on the marketplace and getting really excited about people using their voice for so many different applications. I've got one story of a colleague called Mark. He works in our voices team. He put his voice in the library in the very beginning, and he was calling, I think, support. He was calling customer support once, and he heard his voice talk back to him on the phone. So it just goes to show how widespread this is, and it's super exciting to see. Now, for me, it's fun talking about our models, but I'd just rather show you. So I'm going to quickly switch tabs here and show you my other screen. All right, so you should be seeing my other screen now. Okay, so this is our voices marketplace. This is what I was talking about before. Now, for this demo, I want to create a new voice. So we can create voices in 3 ways. You have the instant voice cloning, the professional voice cloning, but you can also create a voice from a prompt, like create an entirely new voice that no one has ever heard before from a single prompt. So I'm going to show you exactly how this works. So we're going to try and do this live. Obviously, live demos are very risky. Sometimes you can go wrong, but hopefully you'll appreciate it and bear with me. So this is the voice design section. So we can start off with a simple one. Let's try the evil ogre demo. So that will then create a new voice from this prompt. And we've said a deep, booming male voice of a massive evil ogre in his middle years. Oddly specific, but let's see. Wow, it's a very angry ogre. I'm not sure what to think of that, but I think voice 3 was my favorite one. No voice. 1 second, let me just check just reshare my screen. How's this? Hopefully you heard that. If not, I'm going to start doing the next one. Okay, still no voice. Give me 1 second while I just quickly. Yeah, live demos are always fun. There's always something that goes slightly wrong when you're dealing with audio, unfortunately. Let me just quickly try and share this tab. All right, let's try a sound effect to see if you can hear this. No. Give me 1 second. This is the tab. Oh, I see. Okay, 1 second. I've got it. I know why it's going wrong. Give me 1 second while I figure out which screen I'm sharing. Share. All right, you should be able to see my screen now again. I'm going to try this one more time. Hopefully this works. Yes. Okay, cool. We got it. So yeah, sorry about that hiccup. Okay, so we're going to go back to the voices tab, and I'll get you to hear the ogre because it sounds quite funny. So this is the voice design tab, and I'm going to quickly create this evil ogre again, so you can hear what I was hearing as well.
Your weapons are but toothpicks to me.
So as you could hear from that voice sample, we gave it a prompt, and that was the booming male of a massive evil ogre in his middle years, and it came out with something that was pretty close. I'm going to try another one now. So I've got this prompt here for a slightly over the top infomercial host who is secretly a huge tech nerd, selling every feature like it's the next unicorn, but with a tongue-in-cheek enthusiasm. Let's see what this one sounds like.
Folks, you won't believe what I've got my hands on today. This isn't just a gadget, it's a paradigm shift. Imagine seamless integration, AI-powered optimization, and a user interface so intuitive it practically reads your mind. And the battery life? Forget about it. You'll be charging your old devices twice before this beauty even thinks about needing a top-up.
Okay, that was a good one. So I recommend you exploring this. This is hours of fun, by the way. I've been through some rabbit holes where I've spent, a couple of minutes just playing around with our voice design feature to get the right voice. But what it's really useful for is like if you're building a product and you want to try and get the voice to sound perfect for your specific use case, you can experiment with 1,000 different permutations if the voice isn't already on the library. For this particular demo, as we're obviously approaching Christmas and Christmas is just around the corner, I thought it might be fun to try finding Santa's voice. So let's give these ones a try.
Hallo, mein liebes Kind. Ich. Ho, ho,
Nope.
ho. Merry Christmas to all.
Oh, the Santa Claus voice is available year-round.
Merry Christmas, my dear friend.
All right, so I'm not sure which one you guys preferred, but my preference is this one. So I'm going to go and take this voice and change this to V3. And I'm going to play what V3 sounds like and kind of show you a little bit of the power of what you can do using our V3 model. So I've got this prompt here. It's describing the way that the voices are spoken. So in the first part, we have whispering. In the second part, we have thoughtful. And I've even tried to add some ho-ho-hos in there to see if we can try and get Santa's iconic ho-ho-ho. So let's see how it does. This is obviously very temperamental. Sometimes
All around the world, screens are lighting up. Founders are tuning in from bedrooms, co-working spaces, tiny offices, and very big dreams. Welcome to Google for Startups, a live gathering of builders, makers, and slightly sleep-deprived visionaries. Ho, ho, ho. Today, your ideas don't just sit on a slide. With ElevenLabs, ho, 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 they get a voice. They speak, and the whole world can listen.
we got quite lucky there the first time. I didn't notice that some of the words weren't being spoken out in the right way. So with V3, it's a matter of trial and error sometimes. So
All around the world, screens are lighting up. Founders are tuning in from bedrooms, co-working spaces, tiny offices, and very big dreams. Welcome to Google.
So that was a little bit better. If I turn up the creative scale, so if you make this ability more creative, you can get some very interesting
All
results.
around the world, screens are lighting up. Co-working spaces, tiny offices, and very big dreams. Welcome to Google for Startups, a live gathering of builders, makers, and slightly sleep-deprived visionaries. Ho, ho, ho! Today, your ideas don't just sit on a slide. With ElevenLabs, ho, ho, ho! They get a voice. They speak, and the whole world.
All right, I think that was pretty good. I like to push the boundary sometimes. So I try to get some of our voices to sing, and let's see if we can get Santa to do some vibrato for us. This is
Somewhere out there, a founder just hit join meeting. Then another and another. Soon, hundreds of bright little screens light up across the world. Then welcome to Google for Startups. Hoo, hoo, hoo.
So let's try this. Let's see what this sounds like.
Hoo, hoo.
So you can play around with the prompting. I just find it incredible that just writing ho 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 can get Santa's like iconic ho 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 from that simple voice that we just saw. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I have shown you text to speech. This is our V3 model. It's a little bit slower than our multilingual and Flash models, but we're soon adding it to our agents platform so you can actually talk with these incredible, iconic voices. The next thing that I wanted to show you was sound effects. So this is also another really fun one for creatives, people that want to create small sound effects for their games or whatever it is. I created a Pong game last week at ui.elevenlabs.io. I was experimenting with some of our components, and I wanted to build these little like blips and kind of winning sounds and whatever to like make the game sound more engaging. Whenever I'm building a web app now, I'm pretty much always adding small sound effects into interactions, into onboarding flows. I think it adds a lot of depth. I think the web is a very quiet place at the moment. Like you're going through all these screens, it's always very quiet. What if you could add some sound effects to that? So I'm going to show you a little bit about how it works. So if you have the sound effects thing, I think for Christmas, we can try and do this one. So let's try and get the sleigh bells to ring. Now, interestingly enough here, you can actually loop the sound effects. So there's a setting here that you can turn on that makes the sound effect perfectly loop, right? So if you have a sound effect, a lot of the times when we used to generate them, you'd have this really ugly cutoff point and you weren't able to loop them. So this is perfect for like ambient sounds or like rainfall or rainforests, meditation music. It makes the whole thing basically loopable so you can iterate over that. So let's give this a go and see what it sounds like. So you can see it's perfectly looping. So actually there's no like hard cutoff point when it goes back to the beginning, and that's only 1.5 seconds of audio. You can experiment around. There's like a bunch of things you can do. I was playing around with like a car turning around a corner, and you can be very specific with how you prompt it. So there's a lot of fun in that as well. A new thing that we added, I think 2 weeks ago now, is our image and video tab. So I love using Nano Banana, and I did a few generations yesterday. So here is Santa on a call, a typical startup founder bedroom, which I found quite funny. This is I did YC last year, and this is exactly what my bedroom looked like when I was in San Francisco working on my company. A little bit cleaner, I hope, but it was definitely a very similar experience. Now, I'm going to go into our last creative product, and that is our music model. This is one of those things that when we launched this, it was so incredible to see the power of all of these things come together. Our music model is a long time in the making. We spent a lot of months building this thing out. It's such an incredible tool for creatives, people like me who just want to create really cool music. We're going to try and do one live. I've got a prompt here for this one. So let's try this one. A high energy EDM pop banger with huge festival drops and euphoric synths where chopped vocal hooks repeat ElevenLabs and Google for Startups like catchy slogans building into an anthem. That feels like launching the next big startup. So this is one of those things that you have to kind of try a few times to get the right thing. It's a creative tool, so you can use it to really fine tune any kind of song for your brand, for your company. And let's see what it sounds like. That was okay, I would say. It was a little bit too. I prefer some of the other songs that it's created for this, but this is the whole point: is that you can experiment with these things. You can put in a prompt, and I'm going to switch my screen now to the slides because I've got a fun demo that I created last week. Doop. Okay, Let's see if this works. All right, so this is our music model, and this is showing you how you can get very creative with the output. So you don't have to just generate a song using a single prompt. You can also take that song and then fine tune the individual segments to build whatever track you want. So I'm going to play this now so you can see what this sounds like. And this is the same prompt, by the way, as we used before. It's the same song, but just mixed up a little bit. So just to show you what happened there, sorry, it was a little bit fast. So I created a song, and then in that bottom right corner, there is a stem splitting option that came out last week again. So all these things are really new, hot off the press. And then that essentially breaks down the song into individual components, and I can then move it into a DAW like logic to like fine tune the different parts of the song.
Built the dream from nothing. Code and vision intertwined. Now we stand on the edge of ourselves to find. Counting down the heartbeat, faster than a soul. Ready for the moment that makes the whole world go. ElevenLabs, Google for startups, launch it to the sky. Watch our anthem fly.
And that's the full song now playing. So that's all the components split up. And yeah, you might have heard Google for Startups and ElevenLabs in that song as well. So it's pretty incredible how you can create some pretty good. This is a pretty good song. I would listen to this on the way to work from a single prompt and then fine tune it. So that was our music model. I'm super excited by it. I hope you guys give it a go. We have a startup grants offer in the Google for Startups tab in the top. So feel free to check it out. If you're building a startup, you want to build a new kind of DAW or like build anything related to music, creative platform, agents, definitely give it a go. Our agents platform is the second part. It's somewhere that you can monitor, deploy, and configure voice agents. It's the combination of all of these technologies, but obviously the core foundation is our research models, our incredible research team that we have at ElevenLabs. They're a very small but very mighty team of incredible engineers that I'm so lucky to work with who create the incredible components for this model. So I'm going to show you what the agents platform looks like now and how it works. So I'm going to share my tab again. All right. So this is our agents platform. So we have this platform switcher at the top. So if you go to the agents platform, I was actually in Milan on the weekend. So I'm going to create a espresso finder agent. And I was walking around the streets and I wasn't really sure where to go for coffee. There were so many places. So I had an idea to build an agent that would essentially find me an espresso. And with any voice, with any agent that you create, the first thing that I always do is choose a voice. So I'll go and have a look here to find the right voice. In this particular case, you might want to find a voice with an Italian accent or someone that fits the theme of wherever you are. In this demo, I can choose Father Christmas. The second thing I'll do is then choose a prompt for the agent. So this defines really how the voice agent behaves. I'm going to show you the prompt that I use for this one. Yeah, so we have this like structure that I generally like to use, but if you try and prompt the agent with Markdown, it works a lot better. So if you split up the different segments in terms of like overview, tone and style, and then behavior rules, it can really fine tune the way the agent behaves much better than if you just sort of said like, you are an espresso concierge, and nothing else. It's better just to have these explicit sections that describe the agent's behavior. One thing that I like to use is obviously Gemini, an incredible model, such a powerful thing to use as the brain for this. And then you can go ahead and obviously give it knowledge base, give it tools. So you can, for example, to create an espresso voice agent, you'll need two tools. One that searches the web, so we can add that now here. So I think I'll voice over this, but essentially you basically have an API call that will go and search the web using Google Maps or Google Search API. So you can then go and scrape that from a single prompt. The agent will then call it whenever it needs to find out, for example, where are the local espresso restaurants in the area, and then it will return that into the context of the agent. If you're deploying voice agents, I recommend adding tests. These are really important. Tests are essentially little unit tests that you can give to your agent that will make the behavior more deterministic. So for example, let's say that I want to make sure that if I ask it, where is the closest espresso bar near where I am at the moment, we can have a test to essentially validate that it will search where I am or trigger some kind of client tool to get my location. So that was pretty much our agents platform. It's very simple. We have workflows as well, so you can create these incredible workflows. I'll show you a demo of what this looks like when you fully composed this espresso finder. I'll give you a quick screen share of this one. Doop. So I'm using Lovable for this demo. Let's see if this can be sharing the wrong screen. Doop, this one. All right, so this is once it shares. Hopefully you can see my screen. So this is the espresso voice agent. So this is the same voice agent that I just created. Well, one that I created slightly earlier. I was having a conversation with Lovable, and essentially all I said was, we have this agent ID. I gave it the docs for ElevenLabs, and then I just said, build me a voice agent using the Mapbox API, and let's see if it can get us an espresso today and show me where the nearest espresso bar is.
Buongiorno, amico mio. Welcome to Milan. What can I help you with?
Hey, it's about 6 p.m. at the moment. I'd love to get a cappuccino, please.
Mamma mia, 6 in the evening, and you ask for a cappuccino? My heart, it aches a little. A cappuccino is a sunrise symphony meant for the morning light. At this hour, we embrace the bold, the strong. An espresso, perhaps, or a delicate macchiato. What do you say, amico mio?
All right, I'm not in Milan anymore. I'm actually in London at the moment. I'm based on 119 Wardour Street. Could you find me the best espresso bar near me, please?
Ah, London. A city of grand history, but perhaps a bit less grand in its espresso traditions, no? Still, I shall endeavour to find you a true gem, a beacon of coffee in the British Isles. Let me take a peek through the digital cafe window. Ah, London. My search through the digital streets reveals a few contenders for your perfect espresso. It seems many places focus on the modern coffee experience, but some do stand out for their espresso art. Caffeine on Great Titchfield Street seems to be a beloved spot for its coffee, and Tap Coffee at 193 Wardour Street.
Could you take me to Tap Coffee?
Certo, amico mio. To guide you to the fragrant embrace of Tap Coffee, I need but two things: the precise address of this establishment.
Could you
and
get
your
the
current-
address?
Ah, of course. My apologies. I was so caught up in the romance of the espresso, I forgot my manners. Let me find that address for you, so your journey to a perfect shot is swift and sweet. Magnifico. It is located at 193 Wardour Street, Soho, London, W1F 8ZF.
Could you show it on the map?
However, certo, con piacere. Let me illuminate your path to this temple of espresso. There you go. The map is now showing you the way to Tap Coffee at 193 Wardour Street. May your espresso be strong and your crema eternal. My sincerest apologies, amico mio. It seems my enthusiasm for espresso may have outpaced the map's ability to display it just so. Sometimes technology, like a stubborn coffee... Perfetto. I hope the map is now guiding you perfectly
So
to Tap.
it didn't work that time, but it did used to show it on the map. So you can definitely get the voice agent to show you where it is, and that's using client tools. Obviously, I haven't added enough tests to this one, but usually you can get it to work pretty reliably for this. So that was pretty cool. It actually asked me where I was, which is great. It then called the Google Search API to get the nearest coffee shops in that specific area. It then fetched the actual address from that place. So that's using two tools: one to search the web, and then one to show the address on the map that I have here at the bottom. So this is a lovable demo. I literally built this using a free prompt, which is pretty cool. But I'm an engineer, and if you're an engineer like me and you want to create more impressive demos, I'm going to share this project that I worked on last week, which I think is really useful for you guys. So I spent some time thinking about some of the components that the web needs for audio and voice. I came to a conclusion that these were the kind of components that would be a good start to throw out and open source into the world. So it's at ui.elevenlabs.io. And essentially what this means is you can build a voice agent in ElevenLabs, and then in React have a single component that you plug in an agent ID to, and it will then work as before, work as expected. So we have things of voice. So I've got this thing, really fun voice slider, so you can play songs. I can play one now. So that's a pretty fun component to build. We have these incredible orbs. It's inspired by Teenage Engineering, who are the most incredible engineers. I've actually got one of their speakers right here. This is what I was basing it off of when I was building this component out. And it's just such a fun one to build. You can also have the orb open source and a bunch of other useful components for agents, audio, and music. Here are the docs for it, so you can have a little bit of a play around with each individual component. This is a really fun one, the matrix component. I'm not sure what this has to do with music or audio, but I just wanted to build it. So you can add these incredible panels to your apps. We've got a mic selector, which is really useful, really useful. And this orb, which is by far the most popular component that we have in this platform. I think it's been downloaded over 10,000 times now in different projects. So people are loving this orb. I found it really interesting to see how it's built. So if you take a look at the code, you can actually just click on this tab and then see how we built this component out. But yeah, it's all open source. It's all on GitHub. Feel free to use it, clone it, do whatever you want with it. And hopefully you'll find some useful components in there for your project. If you want some inspiration of how these components can come together, we actually launched our real-time speech-to-text API last week. So as I'm talking, it should start transcribing exactly what I'm saying. And I'm making a lot of mistakes in what I'm saying, but hopefully it's capturing those mistakes and keeping them forever. So that worked. It's very accurate and very fast. So I'd recommend giving that a go. We have a Pong game that I created, so it's a really fun one to play. There's over six players playing now, which is really funny. But yeah, that's another nice one. And we've got obviously the speaker component. One fun one is this. This one. So this is our docs platform. So if you haven't been to our docs yet, this is what it looks like. But I wanted to see what the future of the voice interface looked like. So you can imagine if I'm on a website like in Chrome, and I wanted to find a specific part on that website much faster. What if we can give an LLM context over the sitemap so that it can take me to that page? Let's see if this still works. Can you take me to the quick start guide? So it took me straight to the quick start guide, and let's see if this works with. Can you take me to the text-to-speech docs? Couldn't find that page. But yeah, that is a really fun one just to try out and kind of explore what's possible. We also have a voice agent in our docs. So if you ever get stuck, feel free to ask it and it will take you to the right page straight away. And yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you guys. There's obviously so much more. I think one fun demo just to end this off with, I'm a big fan of pizza. I love going to Italy and eating their incredible food. So when we first launched our MCP server for ElevenLabs, I wanted to experiment with, is it possible for us to order a pizza using our new ElevenLabs MCP server? So I'm going to play this now for you. After a very busy day shipping our new ElevenLabs MCP server, I just realized it has all the tools it needs to create an agent and make an outbound call to order me some food to the office. So I'm going to prompt it here to create the agent using conversational AI, make an outbound call to my local pizza restaurant, which in this case is just my phone. And let's see what happens. So it's checking the voices available, which hopefully it is. So it's now creating out the agent. It's building out the personality for this conversation. And at each step, it's also checking to make sure that I give it permission to run the tool. So I'm going to give it permission to list my phone numbers in ElevenLabs. And now finally, the permission to make the outbound call to my phone, which is right here. Order a pizza. Hi there. What would you like to order? I'd like to order a margarita pizza, please. Also, I'd like to pay by card on delivery. That's perfect. It'll be with you in about 10 minutes and it'll be £12. That sounds great. Is there any way you could do it for £10? We can do £10. Amazing, thank you. The delivery address is ElevenLabs HQ in London. Sounds great. We'll be there in 10 minutes. Perfect. If possible, could I also ask for extra basil on the pizza? Yes, we can do the extra basil. So that was a fun demo of what you can do with our agents platform. We had about 4 pizzas delivered to the office that day, and we got banned from 2 restaurants near the office. So that was a fun one to do. But yeah, it was funny just to get the agent to like negotiate the pizza prices between the different providers. And obviously in this case, it negotiated free basil as part of the deal. I think that's it from my side. I'm super excited to answer any questions that you guys have. Obviously, it's been an incredible pleasure to be here. Hopefully, you guys found value into what we did. We've got a few questions coming up already. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun to show off our technology. And thanks for having me.
Perfect. Louis, that was so inspiring and interesting. So I'll let you grab a glass of water before we jump to the questions. Really inspiring stuff, by the way. Like, I never thought of a voice as a form of a fingerprint. So it's really inspiring to see how Louis and ElevenLabs are actually looking at this. So before we jump to the Q&A, I do want to draw your attention to the Google for Startups Cloud program. So as you embark on this exciting Gen AI learning journey with our experts, I'm certain you want to try the products and solutions you see used throughout. So if you're a startup, you can apply for cloud credits via our startup program and start building Gen AI solutions for your business right away. Credits cover both standard GCP operations, but also latest Gen AI features that you see in Startup School. We have various support offers for every stage of your startup, including tailored programs for AI first and Web3 companies. Scan the QR code or visit the link that just dropped in the chat. So credits amounts do vary from $2,000 to even 250,000 based on the stage of your startup. And what better time than to introduce our perks from our partners. So with Google for Startups Cloud program, you don't only get access to cloud credits, but also to our vast network of partners, exclusive perks available for you. And if you missed it, then this logo on the top in the center is ElevenLabs. So everything Louis showed you, you can actually get credits and try out for yourself. So that is amazing. Don't miss the Google for Startups Gemini Kit. So think of it as a complete AI toolkit, giving you basically the way to start building and scaling with Gemini, from instant API access to cloud credits, on-demand learning resources, and all really done in one single place. Just scan the QR code or type startup.google.com/Gemini. And thank you for diving deep with us today. We've covered a tremendous amount of technical and strategic ground. I know one of the biggest challenges is actually to take this knowledge to your teams and getting the buy-in. So if you need a simple, powerful, and visual way to share the vision and show them exactly where to start, I'm very excited to suggest the AI Agent Handbook. This is a recap of a lot of the things we've discussed at Startup School. It's a strategic asset for you, beautifully designed. So do go ahead and leverage this. A recommended read for startups is Google Cloud's Startup Technical Guide on AI Agents, really a step-by-step guide to help you understand the core concepts such as RAG retrieval augmented generation, such as multimodality, and explore building with the Google ADK Agent Development Kit for flexible and controlled multi-agent systems. So it's a great read for technical teams who want to understand how agents work within the Google ecosystem. And if you want to keep the conversation going before, during, or after the class, join our AI Startup School Discord channel to connect with others. Now, let's invite Louis back onto our virtual stage. We do have a lot of interesting and fun questions. Let's see. All right. So, how would you get started with the ElevenLabs API for text-to-speech?
Yeah, so that's a good question. We have, obviously, you can use it via the platform UI, or you can also use it via the API. As an engineer, there's so many creative ways that you can use it with our API. So I'd highly recommend checking out our docs, which have like all the details on how to use our text-to-speech API.
Okay, perfect. Next question. So these tones are mentioned in text like square brackets, right? So big,
Yeah.
warm, Santa. Do these come predefined, or are these in directions just entirely up to your imagination?
They're entirely up to your imagination. I recommend playing around with them. If you try getting it to sing, you can add like opera tags, and you can get very creative with it. I've spent too much time exploring it, so it's yeah, a fun skill to learn.
Perfect. Yeah, I can definitely agree. It's super interesting, and we had during the curriculum also the counterpart like Gemini TTS, or the ability to control both delivery instructions of how it's being said, or just opt for a voice like a laughter.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff, and ElevenLabs has been amazing pushing the frontier here. Next question. Can ElevenLabs Voice Changer be used to bring voice consistency to VO3 generated videos?
This is a really good question. I love using VO for some personal videos that I was creating. We built a radio station for Halloween, and this was like a simple radio station that we put in our platform. I was able to chain like our text to speech and then music together to create like an infinite playlist of Halloween songs. I put it live for 14 hours, and we had like a bunch of people tune in to listen to it. and I wanted to create like a short ad, and it was about like 9 p.m. in the office. So I was playing around with VO, and I got to create some really cool videos for it. And I wanted to like add some voiceover, try and compose it into like a nice launch video for the Halloween radio. So it's on my Twitter if you want to have a look at it. But it's you can definitely do that. VO is an incredible model for creating incredible videos. And then if you just add like text to speech or sound effects on top of it, or you can, use voice changer just to make the voice or change the voice to whatever you want. It's a fun one to use in the Creative Suite.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I've also played around with a voice changer on VO generated avatars. So really cool usage of this tech. And I will check out your Twitter. So I think last question, I do want to be mindful of everyone's time. So these tones that are mentioned in text, like, oh, wait, we had this one already.
I think it's a duplicate. Yeah.
Yes, it is a duplicate. So we are done. And Louis, again, thank you so much for your amazing contribution here. I really appreciate the time and investment in this. Was so much fun to actually listen to all these demos. So really cool stuff, and keep building and innovating.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, Shai. No, I think the Google for Startups program, if you're a startup, like obviously ElevenLabs started off in Poland as a small company. They helped us massively build this out. So when I was building a company in YC, we also use Google Cloud. And if you're building any kind of startup, I recommend getting the free credits because it definitely does help. It means that you can experiment with 1,000 different things and not have to worry about, burning through a bunch of credits or paying a bunch of money in the beginning. So it takes that stress off, so you can just focus on building. If you've got any questions about, getting into YC or building a startup, feel free to reach out. Happy to help and answer any questions as well. So yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it so much. Keep in touch, Luke. All right. And last note here as we wrap up is that we really want to hear your feedback. So as mentioned in previous sessions, we actually go through your written feedback here word for word and read it and try to better cater our content to you. So let us know if this was helpful, what you would like to see more of, what you would potentially like to see less of, and talk to us. It's a simple feedback form. So really excited to hear from you, and talk soon. Oh, and sorry, that's all for me. I will remind that we have our final session for this batch of Startup School tomorrow. So I will be your presenter, and I have some amazing content for you. It's called The Final Mile: Creating Digital Avatars at Scale. So again, this is tomorrow, Thursday, November 13th. If you haven't already added it to your calendar, now is the time to ensure you don't miss it. It will be packed full of practical tips that I've prepared for you, so you definitely don't want to miss this one. Enjoy the rest of the week, and talk soon.